Which moves us on to Insidious, which is a horror movie which suffers from a similar problem. Not that it's not funny, but that it's not scary. Have you seen the trailers for Insidious?
No.
Okay, so the trailer for Insidious looked like quite a good trailer. It had, it's. I saw it. I can't remember what movie I was seeing, and the trailer for Insidious came on, and it was one of those things you don't see very much, and you see a little bit, and then you see it, and then there's a little scary noise.
What do I see a bit?
Oh. Well, there's people in a house, and it's not. And the thing in the trailer is, it's not the house, it's your son. So the story is...
It's your son?
Your son, yeah.
It's not the house?
It's not the house.
Why would it have been the house?
Well, can I explain the plot?
Well, you're just talking about the trailer.
The trailer, yeah.
So there are people in a house.
It's not the house. They think they're in a haunted house, and then somebody turns up and says, it's not the house, it's your son.
So the son is doing stuff?
Well, in the trailer, that appears to be the case.
What kind of stuff is he doing in the trailer?
Well, haunting stuff.
How do I know that?
Well,
how does he manage? How do I know?
Well, I'll tell you if you give me a chance. Okay, so the story is...
Well, I just want to get the trailer clear before we move on to the movie.
Well, the trailer doesn't do anything other than that sort of suggestion that there's scary stuff happening and some loud noises and people looking frightened.
Well, what's scary in the trailer?
Now that you ask me to say what's scary about it, I don't know. It was just quite well cut. The trailer was quite well put together.
Right.
Okay?
So it's nicely cut trailer.
Nicely cut trailer. Fine.
But not scary, really.
Well, the trailer was a little bit chilling. Okay?
Only because it was nicely cut.
Yes, because it was they made the best of a bad job.
I wish I'd seen the trailer now.
Young couple, yeah, you will do. Young couple in a house, scary stuff is happening, right? They think, house is haunted. And then their young son goes up into the attic, has a scary moment. Next thing you know, young son has fallen into a coma, but he's not in a coma. He is in a coma. Well, who knows? Who knows what he can be in? It's not a coma. He's in a strange, different state.
Is he just asleep?
Well, maybe he is, or maybe he's in another realm. Who knows? The only person who knows is, I know, let's go and get in the kooky parapsychologist who will be able to explain that, in fact, he's not in a coma, he's in some other... Do you want to hear a clip?
He's in what?
He's in some other realm. Maybe, or maybe not. Do you want to hear a clip?
What kind of a realm?
Well, who knows? It's a horror movie.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
It's 10:30. You've been coming home late every single night.
I don't like it either. I was grading tests.
Josh, I'm scared. I'm so scared, and...
I'm scared. He's my son, too.
You don't understand. I'm scared for Dalton. I'm scared of this house. There's something wrong with this place. I'm not imagining it. I can feel it. It's like a sickness. Ever since we've moved in, everything's just gone wrong.
You think our house is haunted?
I don't think it. I know it. Things move around in here by themselves. I walk into the kitchen at night to get a drink. I can feel eyes on me. I need you.
But it's not the house. It's your son.
Well, if they're going to call him Dalton, what kind of kid is he going to be anyway?
What's wrong with Dalton?
Dalton's a ridiculous name, isn't it?
Is it?
Of course it's going to be the son. If the son's called... Well, have you ever met anyone called Dalton before?
No.
Oh, there you go. So
Well, there we go.
Son.
If you haven't met anyone called it, then they're clearly obviously... Anyway, so, look, essentially... The way that the movie is sold is that it's, from the creators of, meaning from people who worked on the Saw, made the Saw movies, and also were involved in the Paranormal Activity. And one of the things with Paranormal Activity was I didn't find Paranormal Activity scary, but I understand that other people did. And, for example, I've said this before, James King saw Paranormal Activity and he was completely freaked out by it. I thought the problem with Paranormal Activity was it was just long sections of nothing happening and then somebody jumping up and saying boo. But there were certain moments in it that had a kind of, had a sort of style, a moment in which you see the recording of the woman standing by the side of her husband's bed, and it's just fast forwards and you realise that she's standing there for about 4 hours. She doesn't actually do anything, but it's quite a creepy idea. Fine, okay? In the case of this, what you get is the lead up, which is lots of quiet followed by lots of banging noises. And then, essentially, you just get a series of riffs from other movies that you've seen before. So you get the haunted house riff from Amityville Horror. You get the silence followed by loud bangs riffs from Paranormal Activity, or perhaps more importantly, Paranormal Inactivity 2. You get what looks like it's going to be the possessed kids riff, the paedophobia riff, the fear of children thing, which was very, very, was big in the 1970s, The Exorcist and The Omen and, Audrey Rose. Lots of films that dealt with that sort of idea. Then you get, at the end, a whole lot of, let's go venturing in other dimensions, which sort of comes from Poltergeist. And incidentally, when the parapsychologist comes in, it's clearly the parapsychologist. It's like they've gone, I know, let's get a kooky parapsychologist, like the one they get in Poltergeist. You remember in Poltergeist, when there's the whole joke is that the parapsychologist turns up and seems to be a sort of vaguely comedic character, but then she actually sort of knows. You remember that?
A short lady.
Exactly. Well, there's a sort of similar gag here, which is there's a sort of comedy turn involved in the parapsychologist and her assistants, and then there's a whole bunch of other realm stuff, which was frankly much better done in that movie, The Hole, the Joe Dante movie, The Hole. So having seen the trailer, which, as we've established, was only frightening because it was quite well put together, and then thought, oh well, it's, look, it's a it's a haunted house movie, and it's a scary kids movie, and it's not a gory movie, and I like that because, to be honest, I'm fed up with, all the splatter that's going on at the moment. And then I sat there watching things. The problem with Insidious, it's not scary. It's not scary, and it's becoming increasingly sort of silly as it goes on. And the bigger and more production that it gets, the less scary and less bothersome it gets. And at the end, I just got quite cross because I want a horror film to be scary. I want there to be 2 or 3 jumps. I want to be made to have that creepy feeling. And somebody said, okay, well, I know the problem is it's because you're a horror fan, therefore you've become inured to it. And no, that's not true, because as I said, even when I wasn't scared by Paranormal Activity, I did understand that it did scare people. I would be surprised if anyone was scared by Insidious, because it's just silly and boring.
So is the trailer more scary than the film?
It is, and it's shorter.
So they could have, if they re-edited it, could it be the whole film in the manner of the trailer? Would it be more scary?
No, because there's not a whole film worth of scary in there. There's a film is like 95 minutes.
What would have made it more scary?
Well, a good script, a good idea, some well-directed, good story. And also, there's another thing, which is there's this honking kind of Haunting of Hill House twist, which which isn't a twist anyway.
What is it?
It's a denouement.
Denouement. So just an ending.
No, it's not even just
a reveal.
It's just a bunch of riffs from other movies that you've seen done better. And I sat there thinking, I quite like the Amityville Horror, the original one. I really, really like The Haunting of Hill House. I really kind of enjoyed Poltergeist, except it got a bit silly in places. I wouldn't mind seeing The Omen again. That had a scary kid in it. All that stuff was going on because nothing of any interest was happening on screen, which is a shame because actually the adult cast are perfectly fine, but it's not a good movie.